Hello, my name is Hasan Sorrells, and this is the Leadership Lessons from the Great Books podcast, Shorts. There's no co-host on the Shorts episodes. These are now around 6 to 8 minute long observations, ideas, thoughts, or rants about the literature, philosophy, psychology, and even the theology of leadership. Because listening to me talk about leadership for now 6 to 8 minutes is still better than reading and trying to understand yet another business book. Even that business book that you were reading in between watching the new trailer drop for the Napoleon movie directed by Ridley Scott and starring Joaquin Phoenix. I'm going to go check that one out as soon as I'm done here. Behold, I come back to you now at the turn of the tide. There has been a almost imperceptible but recognizable shift in the cultural zeitgeist of the United States of America lately. And while we are not a cultural podcast in and of itself, we are not consumed with the day-to-day, we are a podcast that focuses on the nature of leadership and how the nature of leadership intersects with the reality of living in a post-modern, post-meaning Western world. At the end of the month of Pride, a month muted in some respects and louder in others, two Supreme Court decisions were released that revealed a startling turn of events. One on the legality of the use of affirmative action and race-based quotas in admissions to higher education institutions, and another on the nature of free association and free speech. You can go and read both decisions yourself. We will have links to them in the show notes below this particular Shorts episode. Beyond the legal considerations in these decisions, which we are probably not qualified to comment on, the larger cultural ramifications that both these decisions allow to ripple across the United States are quite startling for leaders. They reveal that the moment of another founding in the West, another founding particularly in the United States, is upon us. One not based on abrogating the divine right of kings, or one based on the ascension of the individual to a state of equality with the monarch. Instead, this third founding, or fourth turning, if you're thinking more globally than regionally, is beginning to develop based on a foundation of individual leadership leading not to collective action, but instead leading to something else. Something more theological, we believe, and psychological than scientific and material. What's the lesson for leaders here? Well, it's very simple. Leaders need to keep their finger on the pulse of the zeitgeist, or the spirit of the age, as it was sometimes referred to in the past. For when the tide turns, leaders want to be ahead of the turn, not wading around in the slack water. And they for sure don't want to be caught in the ebb of the tide. And well, that's it for me. Listen and subscribe to the Leadership Lessons from the Great Books podcast on all the major podcast players that you listen to podcasts on, including iTunes, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, and even Spotify. And please leave a 5-star review if you like the show. We need those reviews to grow, and it's the easiest way to make sure that this show gets into the ears of the leaders who need to hear it. And of course, tell all your friends. If you want to get started on the leadership path, HSCT Publishing's products and services can help your team do that. Check out our training webinars, coaching services, and more at leadershiptoolbox.us. We also have a video-based subscription service, that's software as a service, that can help your team become better at the individual level. 60 modules and over 100 hours of video and written content for you at LeadingKeys.com. That's LeadingKeys.com. We've also got books that will help you and your team grow. Pick up a copy today of My Boss Doesn't Care, 100 essays on disrupting your workplace by disrupting your boss, and subscribe to the Little Red podcast I launched earlier this year with the same name as that Little Red book. My most recent book is 12 Rules for Leaders, The Foundation of Intentional Leadership. Co-written with contributions from Bradley Madigan, this is the book for right now that was written for leaders right now. Pick up a copy by heading over to 12rulesleadersbook.com/now. That's 12rulesleadersbook.com/now. You pay for shipping, and you'll get a copy of my second book as well. Finally, you can get all these books in paperback, hardcover, or as ebooks on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Kobo, and any other place online you order books. Finally, HSCT Publishing is on YouTube. Like and subscribe to the video version of the Leadership Lessons for the Great Books podcast on the HSCT Publishing channel on YouTube. Just search for HSCT Publishing and hit the subscribe button. You'll get our weekly video updates, which is the video version of this podcast. And, of course, you're going to want to subscribe to my other podcast. That's right, I do more than one. The Hey Sorrells Presents audio experience, where I talk more casually with a broader range of people about all matters that matter in the world today, from arts all the way to analytics. All right, that's it for me.